Joining us now to discuss the very real impact that Labor's secretive nature-positive plan and laws are having on business is Robert Millner, the chairman of Soul Pattinson, and one of our most successful entrepreneurs. Robert, great to have you here on Outsiders. You had a great article in the Financial Review this week. You've been speaking out against your fear about this secretive nature-positive plan. You yourself have had many projects that have suffered through endless red tape, green tape, all this sort of stuff. What's your warning to Australian businesses, Robert?
Well, good morning, all. I don't think people quite realise how dramatic this potential environmental laws, if they come into fruition, will be. And the most disappointing part of it is that it's completely surrounded in secrecy. No one's been asked to consult or add their views to this. And I think the other most important part about this is if this does go ahead, I think it's going to affect all Australians. And if you start talking politics, it's going to affect both Liberal and Labor politics, because various electorates are going to be affected by this. And there's going to be a massive loss of jobs going forward. So that's going to have a massive effect on the whole of the country. If we can't transform from the cheap energy that we've had over decades in oil, gas and petroleum into things like lithium and cobalt and copper, all these take 5 to 7 years to start up a mine. So you can't get approvals now. So they bring these laws in that are going to make it even harder. Where do we go?
James.
Well, I'm wondering if, Robert, part of the reason for some of the secrecy and lack of transparency around this is that there is also a global nature-positive initiative that has ties to the United Nations, to Davos, to the World Economic Forum, the Rockefeller Trust, and things of that nature. Should we be concerned that this is actually a global initiative being pushed by global governance groups without regard for the Australian democracy and what actual people on the ground here want?
Yeah, it's obvious. The world has been, so, as I mentioned in that article, the world has been so successful over the period of time because we've had cheap energy. The world has cheap energy, and this at the moment, why are we in Australia paying 30 or 40% more for our energy than what we should be? We've got the cheapest energy in the world here. We're paying 30 or 40% more for it.
Well, yeah, that's we're sitting on, what, hundreds of years possibly of gas reserves, and we're not doing any gas exploration. We've got a shortage. Is this entire plan just another layer of bureaucracy to frustrate development? What are you seeing as the main danger of this legislation?
As you mentioned, it's going to delay things further, and it's going to start, for example, with property developers. We can't build now enough homes. So if you're going to have legislation brought in on top of property developers to open up new areas for land, it's going to have a massive effect on agriculture. And as I've mentioned before, we're already having this massive delays in getting any approved for future mining. We've been involved in a coal asset in around Ackland near Toowoomba, and it's taken us 12 years to get a reapproval. 12 years.
And Robert, what's the impact? You've done many businesses, been the CEO and on the board of many successful Australian businesses. What do you fear for the future of Australian business if Labor push ahead with this secret plan? What are the dangers to Australian businesses?
Well, obviously, it's getting approvals. And I go back again, 20 or 30 years ago, a builder could go into a local council on a Monday morning and put your plans in for a new house, and you'd go and pick them up on the Thursday or Friday. Now it's 8 or 10 months in some shires to get an approval to develop a new house. So we've just been slowed down. Every part of our business that we're involved in, we do have problems with getting approvals in one way or another, whether it's mining or whether it's building or whatever it is. It's just the government is so anti-development.
Robert Millner, well, Australians should be listening to you. You've certainly been a success in business and industry. If you're worried about these nature-positive plans, then we all should be. Robert, have a very happy Easter. Thanks so much for coming on Outsiders. Thanks, Robert.
All right, thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
You too. Thanks, mate.